So, hockey fans, there's going to be a video on my trip to Toronto. I'm just promoting it. I haven't done it yet. I have to make decisions as to how much content I'm going to show because, yeah, the Leafs are a big organization. They can take me down. Anyway, Florida Panthers, first place. We're second last week, 89 points, 10 games remaining, 5-4-1 in their last 10, lost their last game. Tampa Bay Lightning, 87 points, 10 games remaining, plus one stand. They went up a spot, 5-4-1 won their last game. Boston Bruins dropped 2 spots. They're now in third in their division. 5-3-2 lost their last 3, so they're struggling a little bit. This is not the time to be doing that with 9 games remaining. Washington Capitals, 107 points. They still have not clinched a playoff spot, believe it or not. I guess if they lost every game and Pittsburgh won every game, they could catch them. 11 games remaining, 6-3-1, lost their last game convincingly against Pittsburgh, by the way. They were just chewed up. Pittsburgh Penguins, 88 points, 10 games remaining, plus 2 in the standings, 8-2-0 in their last 10, won their last 6, and all the talk is how well Sidney Crosby is playing, and he has to because Malkin is injured again. He got back one game and got injured. New York Rangers, 88 points, 10 games remaining. They went down a spot, 4-4-2, lost their last game. They're on a western swing, so that explains some of that. The New York Islanders, 85 points, 12 games remaining. They have a lot of games left. They went down a spot, mind you, 5-3-2, lost their last 2. The Detroit Red Wings, still very inconsistent, 83 points, 8 game remaining. So they really don't have much left. No change there. 5-5-0 in their last 10, won their last 2. Philadelphia Flyers, they keep flip-flopping with Detroit, so there's no change though this week from last week, although they were in the playoffs at one point last week. 80 points. 12 games remaining, so they have 4 more games to play than Detroit does. So that's not going to help Detroit at all. 7-2-1, lost their last game. The New Jersey Devils, they went up a spot to 10th, 77 points, 8 games remaining. So no, that's not going to happen. Plus, they went up a spot, 5-5-0, won their last game. The Carolina Hurricanes, they went down a spot, 10 games remaining, 3-3-4 in their last 10, lost their last 4. The Ottawa Senators, they win 1, they lose 1, they're not going anywhere. 76 points, 8 games remaining, 4-4-2 in their last 10, won their last game. The Montreal Canadiens, no change there, 72 points. 8 games remaining, 3-6-1, lost their last 2, and there was a whole bunch of talk about whether the coach was going to get fired at the end of the season, and Bergevin saying that maybe he don't believe everything you read about his being safe next year, etc., etc., etc. That's never going to change there. Buffalo Sabres, 14th place, 68 points, 8 games remaining, 4-3-3, lost their last game. The Columbus Blue Jackets, 66 points, 4-6-0, lost their last game. They have 10 games remaining. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, 61 points, 16th place still, 11 games remaining, 4-5-1, won their last game. I was talking to some fans, not everybody's on board with this rebuild, and yeah, we'll see what happens there. Hopefully they keep losing and they get that number 1 pick. They're about the only hope this country has of winning the cup with this rebuild, but you're looking at 4 years before that happens. Anyway, that's it for the Eastern. And now for the Western Conference, Dallas Stars, 95 points, still in first place, 9 games remaining, 5-2-3, won their last 2. St. Louis Blues, 93 points, 9 games remaining, 7-3-0 in their last 10, won their last game. The Chicago Blackhawks, they've been struggling. 91 points, 9 games remaining, and lost their last game, but they're 4-4-2 in their last 10. Los Angeles Kings, 93 points, 11 games remaining, 7-2-1, won their last 4. The Anaheim Ducks, no change there, still in the same place. They're second in their division, 89 points, 11 games remaining, 6-3-1 in their last 10, won their last 2. The San Jose Sharks, no change there either, 88 points, 10 games remaining, 7-3-0, won their last 2. The Nashville Predators, it's funny how nobody has 12 games in the Western Conference at all. Everybody's played out the string here. And it gets even worse with Edmonton. They only have 7 games remaining. They've played 4 more games than Los Angeles or Anaheim. Nashville Predators, 85 points, 10 games remaining, 6-2-2, lost their last game. Colorado Avalanche, 80 points, 9 games remaining. They went up a spot, so they're flip-flopping with Minnesota here. 6-4-0, won their last 3. Minnesota, 79 points, 1 point behind. They dropped a spot, but they have 9 games remaining, same as Colorado. 6-3-1, almost identical records, won their last 2, so they're really going after it. Arizona, that's going to be right to the end of the season. You watch. Arizona Coyotes, 69 points. 10 games remaining, 4-5-1 in their last 10, lost their last 2. Calgary Flames, 68 points, 10 games remaining, +2 in the standings, 5-3-2, won their last game. Vancouver Canucks, 66 points, 11 games remaining, dropped a spot, 3-7-0 in their last 10, lost their last 4. Edmonton Oilers, like I said earlier, 65 points, only 7 games remaining. Went up a spot, they're not in the basement. 5-5-0 in their last 10, lost their last game. Winnipeg Jets, they really fell apart. 64 points, they dropped 2 spots. 10 games remaining, -2 in the standings. 3-5-2 in their last 10, lost their last 3. That's it. See you next week.